Hey, Crazy Mama Kelly here coming at you from my part of PA. It's been a while, I know. I work third shift, a lot of changes in my life. But I'm going to continue with the Great Book of Everything. But this isn't really in the Great Big Book of Everything, but this is a story about weird Pennsylvania, just as it is. This takes place in my favorite town in PA, one of my favorite towns in PA, Pittsburgh. Yay! So let's see what it has to say. Okay, so this is the most original haunted house in Pennsylvania, in America. It's on Congelier Mansion in 1129 Ridge Avenue. It's in Manchester, the north side of Pittsburgh. The neighborhood, Manchester, north side of Pittsburgh. So let's see what it has to say about it. Okay, this was originally called the most haunted house in America. The home was formerly owned by a carpetbagger named Charles Wright Conler and his Mexican wife Linda, and their young servant girl named Essie. It was I already told you, it's North Side, Manchester neighborhood of Pittsburgh. The story goes, it all started in 1871, in the winter of 1871, and right now I thought it was appropriate because this is winter. We all been having a crappy winter, but this is when it started. It started in the winter of 1871 with Linda's discovery of Charles having an affair with their maid. Linda was so enraged, she stabbed Charles to death, and she chopped off the head of Essie. And for the next 20 years, the house remained vacant. It was remodeled to accommodate railroad workers in 1892, but they soon moved out, claiming they heard sobbing and screaming of a woman. So they moved the heck out of there. Who wouldn't, right? Okay. So it said around then, it said vacant for a while again, and then around the year 1900, a doctor named Adolf C. Braunrichter bought the home. Keeping to himself, the doctor was rarely seen by his neighbors. But then on August 21st, 1901, the family next door had a terrifying scream from the Braunrichter residence. Wrote, and this is from the book Haunted Houses, and who wrote it was Richard Weiner and Nancy Osborne. What they wrote is, when they ran outside to investigate, the neighbors saw a red explosion, like flash through the house. And the earth tumbled, and the earth quaked below, and the earth under them tumbled, and the side walls cracked. Every window in the doctor's house was shattered. When the officials finally came to investigate, they found a decomposing female body strapped to think about that. Decomposing female body strapped to the bed, and 5 headless young women in basement graves. Dr. Braunrichter had been experimenting with severed heads, wrote Reiner and Osborne. Apparently, he had been able to keep some alive for a short periods after decapitation. Dr. Braunrichter, meanwhile, had disappeared, and the house once again stood vacant. So that's pretty scary, huh? There's still more to this house. Okay. So, as a result of the reputation for being a haunted house, the house stood empty for several years. Before undergoing its second remodeling to ready for housing immigrant Equitable gas company workers. The workers experienced many strange occurrences, but wrote them off as pranks by American workers they had replaced for lower wages. One night things took a tragic turn, however, as 2 of the workers were found dead in the basement. One had a board driven through his chest like a stake, and the other one was hanging from the rafters. These men had been seen alive just minutes earlier. Then in 1920, the famous scientist and inventor Thomas Edison came to study the house. Edison spoke of a machine that he was building to allow communication with the dead. Edison died before the mechanism was perfected. Weiner and Osborne wrote that the Thomas Edison visit to the house at 1129 Ridge Avenue apparently influenced a strong belief in the afterlife. And in September of 1927, a drunk was arrested who claimed to be Dr. Adolf Braunrichter. He told police gruesome stories of sex orgies, demonic possessions, torture, and murders that occurred in the house. The authorities could not determine if the man they had in custody was indeed Dr. Bromricher. The man was released after a month and was never seen again. So it says the days numbered. This is you can Google this if you want. The days numbered for the haunted house, which everybody was convinced was evil. Nearby, on the site that is now the Carnegie Science Center, stood the largest natural gas storage facility in the world. On the morning of November 15th, 1927, the giant gas storage tank owned by the Equitable gas company exploded with an awesome force which was felt across the county. The story of old Allegheny City, compiled by workers of the Writers Program of Works and Projects Administration, described destruction as houses collapsed and chimneys tumbled, broken glass, twisted pieces of metal, and other debris rained on the heads of dazed and shaken residents who had rushed into the streets from their wrecked homes, believing that an earthquake had visited the city. The force was so strong it reportedly blew out windows throughout downtown Mount Washington and as far away as East Liberty. Dozens of manufacturing plants and hundreds of homes were damaged or destroyed in 20 minutes, a 20-mile radius. The most haunted house in America, which now stood in the present-day site of the Route 65 1279 interchange, was obliterated in the explosion. According to Weiner and Osborne, it was the only structure destroyed in the blast for which no trace was ever found. So that's pretty interesting. And it says the ghost, and it says above ghost story is just most likely a story. So, partial truth, but the majority appears to be fictional in nature. So there you go. So I don't know. So that's just another story for you by crazymommakelly about our good old town Pittsburgh, only 2 hours away from where I live here. If you stay tuned, I'm gonna still try to do these stories on Most Haunted PA or Weird PA or whatever else. And if you have a couple stories, just send them on my way. I have no problem listening to a good tale. You know, that's what I like to do. Also, me and the kids want to do some parody videos. We're gonna, I think we're gonna do. I don't know who everybody feels, but you know, I miss it. I've been lately missing the '90s, and so I've been lately watching. Excuse me, that's my email. But I've been lately watching the '90s shows lately, and one of my absolute favorites from the '90s is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know I'm a dork, I can't help it, but I like that show. So, me and the kids decided we're gonna do a video, probably, or a couple, to see how it goes. When spring comes around, we're gonna possibly do, we're gonna call it Biffy the Vampire Slayer, but the Slayer of the later years. So keep tuned for that. It should be pretty interesting. We have a lot of ideas. It's the middle of winter, so you know how it is. It's still winter, but it's not yet spring. It's just in the verge there, because good old Punxsutawney Phil told us 6 more weeks of winter. Yay! But we're trying to come up with new things, new themes, new projects. I always have things running around in my brain. I just want to get them out on film. What the heck? You have fun while you do it. Alright, thanks for watching Crazy Mama Kelly. If you haven't subscribed please subscribe below. Hopefully we can start pounding out some more videos for you. And getting out to some of these sites to show you, what they're all about and everything. And show you my part of PA. So, blessings and take care and peace. And thanks for watching. And, I appreciate all that you take your time out to watch me and my crazy videos. So thanks a lot. Alright, peace. Bye-bye.